Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is August 6, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus from Alternate Current Radio joining us. So let me give you the hooks and get in it here quickly so we don't leave him hanging. What do we got today? Well, today, sadly, 80 years ago today was the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki there. Killed a whole lot of Japanese. We'll get to that. Hey, America, we're the good guys, right? Even after quoting then President Eisenhower, the Japanese were ready to surrender, and it wasn't necessary to hit them with that awful thing. Yeah, who cares, right? We're the good guys, America. There's a shooting at a military base today by a disgruntled soldier. We'll go over that a little bit. The White House is now claiming Biden administration, quote, lost 500,000 migrant children. How the hell do you lose 500,000 children? If this is true, why in the hell are people from the government not going to prison over this? Same routine, right? Nobody in the government ever gets in trouble because they are the mafia. They are the crime syndicate. ICE is pushing hard here now to recruit people. They've taken away age limitations. So I guess if you're 100 years old, you could join up with ICE and fight the cartels and try to round up illegal aliens. So they're getting desperate, it appears here. We got announcements from ICE Barbie, the Speedway Slammer, they're calling it, which are essentially FEMA camps. And I don't want to go to a FEMA camp. It sounds horrible. I'm not going to a FEMA camp, all right? And so I'm not going to make it there. I'm sorry to tell you. But allegedly, it's for illegal aliens. It's not a stretch to say they'll put dissident U.S. American citizens in these same camps at this point with how insane this government is. It always has been, but it's naked now. The emperor literally has no clothes. Epstein, excuse me. What did we get? We got some message. Some listener on YouTube said they're tired of Epstein. Move it to the back of the show or something. Sorry to tell you, listener, but we're going to keep covering it. We'll try to get through it. I know it's the same old routine, but we have to keep covering it. So we'll try to make it more palatable for you here. But more things are developing as the days go by here, and the Trump administration cover-up continues. And the congressional cover-up is they're all over there in Aardvark land kissing the wall. You know what I'm saying? So it all ties together, so we have to keep covering it, you see. We got public health news again today. We got the video of Bobby Kennedy Jr. We're going to play it. I don't know, maybe YouTube will ban it. It's right from the government. I don't think they ban it, but we read the press release yesterday about they're not going to fund mRNA miracle development programs anymore. Maybe, possibly, allegedly. That's what they say. We'll take a look at that again today. It's very significant as they try to memory hole the whole medical intervention period here. Now, nothing happened. People are still, it's bad still. It's real bad still. Like, what? Nothing happened. As you will see in the segue video here, Trump still touting Operation Warp Speed to this day. Talk about tone deaf. They'll hear, I read all the reports the government's putting out, right? And they're, oh, we hear the people. Really? People are screaming at the top of their lungs about Operation Warp Speed. No, we're tone deaf about that, apparently. It's just absurd. And just one more illustration of the corruption and the absurdity that is Donald Trump, your president. We got geopolitical news. Trump slapping We've been reporting on it. He's slapping tariffs on India, threatening to slap more on China over their dealings with Russia, despite the hypocrisy that America's still buying uranium and other supplies from Russia. Who cares about that? They're the bad ones, right? And so it's just that back and forth. Allegedly, there's going to be a meeting between Putin, Trump, and Zelensky. They're saying maybe we'll just walk away from it. The whole Ukraine backing of the war. I don't know. EU's throwing a bunch more money to Ukraine. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. Hopefully it will stop. I don't know. We saw how the last peace talks went. Not very well. Not very well, because they keep killing people, and it's horrific. And it needs to stop. So we'll cover that geopolitical news for you. And then, of course, the Aardvark genocide. Allegedly here, they're going to go ahead and occupy the whole area, is what the reports say, tomorrow, or could be happening right now. Like very soon, Aardvarks are going to occupy all of the rest of Gaza Strip there. And I don't know, what are they going to do with the million people or whatever it is that are still there, that are not genocided yet? I don't know. I guess they're going to put a gun in their face and tell them leave or die is essentially what it appears to be coming down to here now. So it literally in your face ethnic cleansing genocide, as we continue to report here. And more reports, the rest of the world's just about had enough. They fired on Russia, launched a, well, we'll get into it. They fired on a Russia was over there in Aardvark land, and they fired on the Russian Foreign Ministry last month. And Russia's launched a formal complaint against them. They're crazy. They're freaking crazy, okay? And anybody that backs them at this point is crazy, man. They're literally crazy. They're war criminals. They're evil. It's horrific. It's quite horrific as we continue to report here. And Trump just shrugs his shoulders. Mr. Peace. He's a peacenik, he tells us. And they say, well, what about the, what are you going to do about the full occupation of Gaza there by Aardvark Army, by the IDF? It's up to them. You know what I mean? Knowing damn well and good it's going to result in mass murder. All right, so that's the news we got for you today, and a bunch of here and there's in between to tie it all together on this day in history. Seems quite significant. It's in 1806, the Holy Roman Empire ends on this day of October 6th. It was neither holy, Roman, nor an empire. Francis II renounces the title and becomes Emperor of Austria on this day in 1806. In 1934, U.S. troops leave Haiti, which they had been occupying since 1915. So what, almost like 20 years, right? 19 years there of occupation in Haiti. And then, of course, the big one, allegedly here now, atomic bombing of Hiroshima. In 1945, an atomic bomb is dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima by the U.S. B-29 superfortress Enola Gay, the name of the plane. Was it an atomic bomb? I don't know. Or just real bad TNT firebombing. I saw some theories that maybe it was a combination of, because there's a river right there. Maybe it was a combination of a barge full of explosives and firebombings. I don't know. But the official story says atomic bomb. That's still up for debate, though, I believe. Here now. In 1964, Prometheus, the world's oldest tree, aged at an estimated age to be 4,862 years old, is, quote, accidentally cut down in Nevada. You accidentally cut down a tree that old, really? Just an accident. No one ever gets in trouble. 1965, the Voting Rights Act was signed into law by Lyndon Baines Johnson, prohibiting voting discrimination against minorities. And so now you minorities out there can vote, like if it matters, in this rigged system. So come on into the Jones Plantation, the slavery system here. We care about you minorities. Don't you see how it works here now? No discrimination. You're all slaves now again. In 1991, I thought it was Al Gore. Who knew he lied about inventing the interwebs and global warming? But it turns out it wasn't Al Gore. It was this computer scientist, Tim Berners-Lee. He releases files describing his idea for the World Wide Web and debuts www as a publicly available service on the internet in 1991. So on this day. Moving forward here, in 2008, on this day, Alex Jones was banned from Facebook, Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. We know the feeling, Alex Jones. And setting the stage to do mass bannings on everybody. They banned Trump when he was sitting president. You know what I'm saying? And still no one gets in trouble. So quite significant there, setting the stage, the precedent to ban and censor like we never saw before on the interwebs here now in 2018. In 2023, and Simon used to talk about this a lot, and it is significant, I agree. Imran Khan was convicted, former Pakistani prime minister. He's still in jail. I did see some riots and civil disobedience going on there in Pakistan, protesting his ongoing imprisonment. On this day in 2023, former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan is convicted of illegally selling state gifts and sentenced to 3 years in prison there. What else do we got? That's about it on this day in our civil rights history here. We had a couple things going on. Anything significant? I thought this one was kind of funny. In 1954, on this day, Girl Scout handbook was deemed subversive by the Cold Warriors in the U.S. federal government. In one of the most absurd incidents in the anti-communist Cold War, the Illinois American Legion on this day attacked the Girl Scout handbook for being un-American and internationalist. Maybe it was. I don't know. I've never read it. Yeah, and that's about it. So here's our segue to the news and to bring on Ruckus. Here's Trump again. Trump on Operation Warp Speed. One of the most incredible things ever done in this country. Everything about it has been amazing. Really? Well, hear it from your Lord and Savior here, MAGA. It makes me angry. Okay, it makes me seriously angry. This today.
You were the driving force behind Operation Warp Speed, these mRNA vaccines that are the gold standard.
Right.
Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with
Research
the entire medical community and with you. What is going on?
Research on what?
Into mRNA vaccines.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And, that is a pass. Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing. But that was now a long time ago, and we're on to other things. But we are speaking about it. We have meetings about it tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And we'll determine. We're looking for other answers to other problems, to other sicknesses and diseases. And I think we're doing really well. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Ruckus, how you doing on this Wednesday?
Good. Project Warp Speed, huh? Are we still talking about that old thing? That's old news. I thought we were. No one talks about Project Warp Speed. Oh yeah, he likes to bring that up quite a lot, doesn't he?
What the hell is he talking about? By all accounts, it was the worst thing that ever happened in our lifetimes to this country.
Not if you look up the Wikipedia entries. Not if you go to the CDC's website and the
I lived
FDA.
through it. I don't need the source from anywhere.
That doesn't matter. All that matters is what's written in the textbooks and what ChatGPT is going to tell the next generation when they ask about it, and or the current generation, and we'll have to sit there and argue with it, and then they report us to Palantir, and they send a nice little drone package, courtesy of Anduril or Amazon or whatever. Wow, way to go, Trump! And he's playing stupid. He's like, wait, what is this mRNA thing? I don't know what you're talking about there. At odds with something I said. Like, you know, you would expect him to fire somebody. Like, is he going to fire RFK Jr. now because he fired the lady who did the jobs report numbers and he didn't like what she had to say, so he canned her? That was pretty funny. Yeah.
And they put up the whole front like any of their data is legitimate. It's just so mind-numbing.
Yeah. There was a reporter, I caught a clip of that, was trying to ask him about it, and he totally dodged the question, of course. But she was like, "Sir, don't you think that, what does this have to say about the believing, trusting the information coming in the future?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. You can't trust the numbers. But this was a bad person. She was a Biden appointment." But he straight up admitted that, yeah, you can't believe any of the numbers. And I'm just like thinking, including yours, dude. What are you talking about? It's
the calculation, the formula, the mathematical formula they're using doesn't change regardless of who is entering the data. And as we documented under the Biden administration, same thing under the Trump administration. Because they're lying to us, the government is lying to us about their economic data. They put out a big number and then they always revise it down quietly about the jobs.
But the general person out there doesn't understand that.
They don't get it.
And what they see is that the job numbers came out from somebody who was appointed by the Democrats, and Trump didn't like the numbers and he fired her. What does that look like? It's exactly what it looks like. And that's I'm like, yeah, why would you do that? Why would you put your you know what out there like that, Trump, and knowing that they're going to smash all over it? That's crazy. I don't get it.
He doesn't care. Sadly, on this day, never forget, 80 years ago, America bombed Japan. The Japanese,
yes, but they were all bad people. It's okay.
No, it was civilians. It wasn't a military target even.
I don't remember learning anything about that, Sam, in school. I don't know what you're talking about. We would never harm innocent civilians. That's unheard of. Who does that sort of thing?
Aardvarks are our greatest ally.
Uh-oh. Okay. Wow.
So
I guess this is nothing new, huh? 80 years ago, you say? Wow.
80 years ago, the bombs weren't dropped to end a war. They were dropped to start an era, the era of never-ending military conflicts and U.S. global hegemony, says the Free Thought Project, and I think I have to agree with them there. 140,000 people killed. Quite horrific, indeed.
This was a big one. Clearly, they made the technology, and then they technically demonstrated it in a real-life beta test, or whatever the terminology for it is. And obviously, I was just grossly kidding around, some gallows humor here. But, you know, the military-industrial complex certainly would like us to believe that, you know, we only kill. Because the Palantir dude was, when he was questioned about what was happening, like, oh, I trust Israel that they're only killing bad people. I don't, you know, it's like, I don't care. That's not I don't have any moral quandaries about it whatsoever. I'm just in it for the tech, bro. I'm just in it to make a bunch of money, man. It's really sick, yeah. And this was the first incident of, or I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure nobody else has dropped nuclear weapons on anybody else since then, right? Wasn't this some sort of like giant warning to the entire planet about this entire type of military weaponry? I don't know. And we've all seen the horrible imageries. And yes, they did teach us in school about, that this was bad.
If
And
you
that
hide under your desk, then and when Russia hits us with a nuke, you'll be fine. Just hide under your desk at
we
public
also
school.
we also interned people. Let's not ever forget that we
Yeah.
rounded up the Japanese American
American citizens.
citizens and put them in a FEMA camp, basically.
Yeah, internment camps. FDR, the great progressive hero, did that. Quite horrific, and setting the stage for the Cold War to pour $1 billion. Who knows how much that? We should probably look it up. How much we spent on the Cold War when at one level, there really were spies fighting against each other, all this kind of stuff. But go to the next level, both governments are working together at the top levels, Russia and America. And it's just a sick, twisted game that they play.
Well, we won the Cold War. It's okay. People are still talking about that old thing. That's so long ago.
Did we win the Cold War? I don't know. Did we even win World War II? I don't know. Did they even drop an atomic bomb, as is alleged? I think all of this is up for re-examination. But continuing here, because we have a lot to get to, stay cool over there in Phoenix, Arizona. Record temperatures say it's 119 degrees. Feels like 115 degrees in the shade. That's freaking hot. It's like 95 where I'm at in Fresno, California, and that's decent for August in the summer. But 119 is pretty damn hot, I would have to say. So if you're in Arizona, Phoenix area, stay cool, because that is you could potentially suffer from dehydration and or heat stroke, a combination of the two. So stay cool and out of that intense heat there in Arizona.
Stay hydrated. Yeah.
Stay hydrated for sure. Okay, on to the shooting that happened today. It was a soldier, 5 soldiers injured in shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia. Army sergeant in custody, and so that happened earlier today. Let's hear this Fox News report, the timeline of the Fort Stewart shooting. Quick report about that.
Just before the 11 a.m. hour locally there in Georgia, law enforcement was dispatched at 10:56 a.m. for what was described as a possible shooting at that time at the complex. 11:09 a.m., just about 15 minutes later, emergency medical personnel were dispatched to treat the wounded soldiers. Just before that, the entire base was put on lockdown, I should note. And then at 11:35 a.m., the shooter was apprehended. And about 45 minutes later, Fort Stewart then was able to lift the lockdown of the main containment area. But the second complex is still in lockdown. We're still awaiting word on the different lockdown area.
So according to reports, no one was killed. It was a black dude, and he's in custody. So I don't know if we have a motive or what. But that happened.
I'm sure he has a manifesto that said "Free Palestine" on the cover.
He was screaming "Free Palestine" as he was shooting. U.S. What's that one? I forget the name, but there've been problems at U.S. military bases. Something.
The one out here, Fort Hood.
Hood. There you go. That's the one. They're talking about all this.
It's pretty close to where I am, actually, incredibly close.
They have a lot of problems there all the time. He was arrested earlier in the year for a DUI. I don't know. He was disgruntled, potentially, is what they're saying. I don't know if I've seen a manifesto where he was screaming "Free Palestine," but I'm sure he did.
I'd be willing to bet what we won't see, what we won't hear about, Sam, and that would be any pharmaceutical prescriptions that he may be on.
True. Here's the alleged shooter right here.
And he does not look like he's on anything at all. He looks like a fine, upstanding young man.
Cornelius Radford. And so, yeah, and we know the military loves to experiment on their soldiers, so God only knows what drugs he's on, what kind of programs he was in, We'll never know. But thankfully, no one died in a quite horrific incident there.
Do you think it's because they removed the fluoride from the water and he's having a bad reaction to withdrawal symptoms? Just kidding.
Maybe. So all in all, nobody died, so not that bad. But we do have a trend of serious issues going on at U.S. military bases by our own soldiers. Something needs to be done there. I'm sure it won't be. Okay, this claim by the White House now, by Barbie Lady Levitt, the press secretary at the White House, she reposted this Daily Signal article. She says, let's put it up there. This is a bold claim. Biden lost 500,000 migrant children. Trump administration is returning them home. Huh? 500,000? How do you lose 500,000 kids? And why is no one from the Biden administration getting in trouble for this? You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank God he found them. That's great. Thank God they weren't hiding wherever the Epstein files are, right?
They're pushing this narrative. Look over there. Anything to be talking about the Epstein.
He's returning them home, which is he's kicking them out. By the way, he's like, "Vámonos, little niños, hasta luegos."
They say in this Daily Signal article, the Trump administration has located 13,000 of those children, and now the Office of Refugee Resettlement and a surrogacy of the Department of Homeland Security and Human Services is working to reunite those children with their families in their home countries and find the rest of the missing minors. That's a bold claim. 500,000. Then why? You don't lose 500,000 kids. They knew what the hell they were doing here now. Come on. And still no one in the government gets in trouble. But let's do a distraction. Trump administration bars visas for men competing in women's sports. Signed an executive order to that. So I guess if you're coming in here to compete on a foreign visa and you're a man claiming to be a woman, you're not going to be allowed in the country here now. So very sad for those people. On to ICE. You should join up with ICE now. They've no age cap. To me, this reeks of desperation because they know they're falling way behind on the mandate for mass deportations. No age cap. Join ICE now. So we're taking father-son bonding to a whole new level. So a father and son team can join up with ICE and fight the cartels and chase down illegal aliens in the parking lot.
Are those official images coming from the White House administration?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's why I went.
This is right from the Department of Homeland Security. Nothing but the best for our audience.
That's why I went with the Trump as Uncle Sam thing today for my background image.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of the classic propaganda. I was trying to get the whole image. Grok did mine. I think I have the whole thing. Yeah, there it is.
Let's see it. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't know why they put the eagle on his shoulder.
Too bad the eagle is not shitting on his shoulder. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Eagles are back on his side because he is getting rid of those windmills that kill the Eagles, allegedly. So maybe he's recruiting an army of Eagles as well. Here, look, you could sign up for ICE and you could get in the back of of one of these trucks or a Ryder truck. That's what or Penske here now. DHS arrives in Penske trucks at a Home Depot in MacArthur Park area of LA for early morning immigration enforcement. The area was filled with migrants who scattered. DHS says MS-13 has a chokehold on this area, which is one reason they're carrying out the highly optic immigration raids. 16 taken into custody. So you could join up and ride in the back of a Penske truck and jump out at a Home Depot parking lot and try to catch an illegal. Very thrilling. Here's video of it. And so there's no age limit now, and there's no education requirement. So could you see
So
how
you
this?
get to carry a gun?
I think so.
Nice.
Here's ICE Barbie. We're ending the age cap for ICE law enforcement. Maybe you could even be like 100 years old with a walker and a wheelchair and be out there trying to trace down illegals.
This is one of the things that I'm so excited about because we've seen our ICE officers be terrorized by activists, by violent people who want to do them harm, and they have continued to go out bravely and do their jobs and make sure that they're upholding the rule of law. And so our recruitment efforts to hire 10,000 new ICE officers has been extremely successful. Lawrence, as of today, we have over 80,000 applicants for those 10,000 positions already. People and patriots across this country that say, we want to join, we want to help and be a part of this effort. It's overwhelming to see the amount of response and support that our ICE officers have gotten and people who want to join their ranks. So I would tell everybody, go to join.ice.gov and go there and sign up, be a part of this team that is helping make America safe again with President Trump. And the other thing, Lawrence, I would say is we've removed any of the age barriers. We no longer have a cap on how old you can be, or you can continue at age 18, sign up for ICE and join us and be a part of it. We'll get you trained and ready to be equipped to go out on the streets and help protect families.
It's exciting, right?
But I'm 13. Can I join ICE?
Maybe.
Do I get a gun?
Maybe. They say, but they only got like 5 guys here. Worst of the worst. ICE arrests murderers, pedophiles, and sexual predators. Here's the press release from the Department of Homeland Security. They got this guy. He was a bad guy, homicide. This guy, assault with a deadly weapon. But there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys here. And I don't know.
Clever. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
It was clever how they were hiding out at Home Depot.
Ready to be picked up.
I don't doubt that these are bad guys, but it's 6 guys. We need to deport like 20 million. So that's what they keep doing. Well, this is a bad guy. Well, yeah, he's a bad guy. Okay, I agree with that. But you're getting like, what did that one rate say? The one we showed the video? Oh, they got 16 at the Home Depot. What?
My point is that that's not how you go find the criminals. The criminals, I mean,
They're not
maybe,
looking for day labor at freaking Home Depot.
Maybe times are tough for the gang gamers and the drug dealers and the pimps and the hoes. They don't got a lot of business because times are hard here in America. Maybe they got to pick up a side gig, so they do the day labor on the side. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, that's an odd way to do it. And again, what does it look like? It looks bad. So
It looks real bad.
This looks bad to reduce the age cap. This reminds me a lot of what the short guy with the mustache did too. He formed a special little unit for a particular cause.
The brown shirts.
Group of what he determined or considered foreign invaders of his country. So there we go.
Border agents find 58 migrants crammed in a Penske truck in alleged human trafficking, human smuggling operation, allegedly reported by Fox here. 58 in a Penske truck. I wonder if it was the same Penske trucks that old ICE is using there.
Right. Either way, Penske's doing good, right? They don't care. They're like, oh, we're getting business on both sides. They must feel like the gun runners do during the wars. Look at that.
Here's a statement from Penske. Now that you mention, Penske truck rental is aware of recent reports and videos regarding a Department of Homeland Security operation in Los Angeles. Penske strictly prohibits the transportation of people in the cargo area of its vehicles under any circumstances. The company was not made aware that its trucks would be used in today's operation and did not authorize this. Penske will reach out to DHS and reinforce its policy to avoid improper use of its vehicles in the future. So there you go. The ICE is kind of breaking the law there a little bit, or at least breaking the policies of Penske truck rental. And good for them standing up for their policies and not just laying down. Okay.
Notice they did not issue a similar statement for the 58 illegals who are crammed in the back of a Penske truck.
I think it goes across the board. Okay, here's our FEMA camps. I'm not going to the FEMA camp, but if they do happen to get me there, I got the top bunk. The Speedway Slammer. We got two. We got Ice Barbie and then her spokeswoman. Yeah, they're gonna start building these camps all over the country.
Absolutely. These states are really stepping up, and they're helping us do it in an extremely efficient manner for the taxpayers as well. So these partnerships are under a 287G program, which is something that helps our federal law enforcement officers partner with these state and local law enforcement officials that want to clean up their streets too, and do unique partnerships like this. So that's why Indiana's come online with the Speedway Slammer. We also have others we'll announce in the future. Alligator Alcatraz was the first model, and the big beautiful bill provided us the resources that we need to get these beds online so we can continue to do our work.
What's up with her lip? Like, does she have Botox or is that just makeup? Like, come on, Ice Barbie.
Jeez. She has the same problem in her lip that Trump has in his legs, I guess.
Okay, here's a spokeswoman from the Department of Homeland Security. The Speedway Slammer was made possible by the One Big Beautiful Bill. This facility will expand ICE detention space by 1,000 beds and house the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. Let's watch this. FEMA camps.
Like its namesake, Speedway Slammer, it's going to be up and running quickly, just like Alligator Alcatraz was. And as well, we're going to get these illegal aliens into the facility quickly and out of it quickly. They will be deported swiftly with due process.
Are you going to build these facilities almost in every state?
We're going to go across nationwide. Secretary Noem is working hard with state and local governments. These are a very cost-effective way to make sure we have these deportation detention centers, and so that we can swiftly arrest and detain and get these criminal illegal aliens out of our country.
Well, is that what it takes to get 3,000 deportations a day?
Certainly, detention bed space is very critical. It's a linchpin for increasing these arrest numbers. But also, thanks to this big, beautiful bill that President Trump and Congress just got passed, we have greater funding for this detention bed spaces. But we also are recruiting more than 10,000 new ICE officers that are going to increase our arrests. So if any patriot is interested in joining ICE, go to join.ice.gov today and help us.
You just heard it. They're building FEMA camps across this country, man.
Plus, she's just a complete robot, unemotional, reading a script. The last part of the script was the exact same as fat-lipped Kristi Noem. So, what the F? And as someone pointed out in the chat that I was going to point out, who was it? Snarky guy, I think. Who is nicknaming these things? The Alligator Alley or Alcatraz, Speedway Slammer? What the hell? I mean, and you know what? So they're warp speeding the in and out system, right? The go to jail and get the F out of the country, do not come back, whatever it is, right? So that's what the Speedway Slammer is. But the thing is, how come they can have these things, the Alligator Alcatraz, up and running so damn quickly? But how are rebuilding efforts doing for the people suffering from the floods or earthquakes or any recent natural disaster? Wow, you know, how about Hawaii? How are the people in East Palestine doing with the recovery efforts there with the chemical thing? I mean, come on. But we can move at the speed of science and engineering to usher in Speedway Slammers and Alligator Alcatraz. That makes no sense to me. It's tone deaf if you want to make America great again.
Pacific Palisades as well. Let's not forget them and other parts of Southern California. So the old Fox News man there said 3,000 a day. So I did the math quickly here. So if you deported 3,000 a day for a year, 365 days, that only equals 1,095,000. That's a far cry. That's a far cry from mass deportations in 20 million. Probably even more than that. We'll just say 20 million for the sake of argument here. They're not getting it done, even with 3,000 a day, as he mentioned there. That, like I said, 1,095,000. If you did that, if you kept that pace, 365 days a year here now.
What if we use the same math that they used to determine how many? Never mind. I'm not going to go there and get you in trouble.
Trump says he'll deploy national troops to beautify Washington, D.C. Are they going to do a federalization of Washington, D.C.? Let's take a listen to this.
Something about it. So whether you call it federalized or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're going to beautify the city. We're going to make it beautiful. And what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
And do you want Congress to look at overturning the D.C. Home Rule Act?
We're going to look at that. In fact, the lawyers are already studying it. We have to run D.C. This has to be the best run place in the country, not the worst run place in the country. And it has so much potential. And we're going to take care of it. You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe walking down the street.
Troops on the streets. This is what you voted for, everybody, right? Wow.
Troops on the streets is what he's calling for there.
Can we get tanks too, please? As long as there's tanks on the streets of America patrolling and keeping everybody safe, of course. I mean, it's not tyranny. It's not a sign of tyranny. It's a sign of safety and security when you have troops and tanks up and down the streets. This is awesome. Go America. What the hell is happening?
America, anything for public safety and national security. And still, even if they did that, well, then that means that you're saying the whole local government there failed to the point where you have to roll out military on the streets. Why don't you get any of these people in trouble? That at the very least, dereliction of duty. There's got to be something. I'm no lawyer, but there's got to be something to charge these people with for this failure. Fire them, charge them, not fulfilling their duties as public servants. If we get to this point, but still no one in the government, even at the local level of DC, will get in trouble for any of this and still be raking in massive salaries at taxpayer expense. It's just truly disgusting every which way you look about. Maybe they'll just roll out those robot dogs weaponized with machine guns on them. That'd be real nice. Okay, next section here. Again, love this meme, and it's true. John Connor watching y'all make friends with AI. It's true. What do you think of this?
Guilty.
What do you think of this, Ruckus?
Just the meme in general?
Well, should we be making friends with AI?
Well, okay, listen, I'm glad you brought this up. It's not so much should we be trying to make friends with the AI, should the AI be trying to make friends with us? I know that's putting it on the shoe on the other foot here, as it were. But let me see. Check this out. You've heard of, let me get to my, no, hold on. I'm going to switch the tab. So you've heard of the new AI companions that Grok has, right? So he's got the chick, which he named Annie. I guess it's just at username A. Okay. And this is so for the horn dog boys to have a relationship with. Then he did one for the girls called Valentine, right? And then check this out. He made something called Rudy for kids and Bad Rudy not for kids. And if you check this out, Rudy is this. It says, "Hi, I'm Rudy, your cute little red panda, a storyteller who creates fun and exciting stories for children." He's featured in the banner. He follows 4 people. You'll never guess who he follows, these other people. But so to the kids now want to know who are these people, but it doesn't matter. Check this out. Bad Rudy looks very similar to Good Rudy. How are the poor kids supposed to tell yo, I'm Bad Rudy, the batshit red panda with a filthy mouth and an ego so big it shits on galaxies? So here's a question. Should kids be making friends with AI? Should kids be using social media? Should kids have an X account? What the hell is going on here? This is crazy.
No, kids should, and a lot of teens and youth have, been pushed into suicide over cyberbullying and other type activities.
Look what Elmo just did recently on Twitter. Do you want that to happen with your Good Rudy or your Bad Rudy? Any Rudy? No Rudy for me.
It's getting sick. UK intelligence services reopened summer internship where no white English can apply. And so UK, I don't know what is up there. They're bad for being white. Apparently, it's finally caught up with them. You are from one of the following: Black, Asian, mixed heritage, or other ethnic minority backgrounds. But white people in England need not apply for UK intelligence services. Almost like, well, they're using it against their own white people there, and they wouldn't want any pushback from a white person in that position.
Intelligence services? Like, so that's like their CIA or whatever?
MI5, MI6, GCHQ.
That is the craziest thing. What on earth is going on? Everything is getting crazy. I don't know. I think I did fall off my skateboard last week, so maybe I hit my head and I don't know it.
UK Telegraph, no white English need apply. What the
Well, the next time we do this, it'll say humans need not apply.
Yeah.
They're just hiring robots and AI.
Indeed. A little bit more. What do we got? The EU Digital Services Act pressures U.S. tech companies, including X, to enforce global censorship, including on American political speech, says U.S. House Judiciary report. Let's bring it up here for you. The EU claims that the DSA applies only to Europe and that it targets only harmful or illegal content. Both of those claims are inaccurate. Non-public documents reveal that European regulators used the DSA to target core political speech that is neither harmful nor illegal, to pressure platforms, primarily American social media companies, to change their global content moderation policies in response to European demands. Seems like free speech to me. Here's Trump today announcing with Apple. President Trump announces that Apple will invest $600 billion in domestic manufacturing over the next 4 years here in America. So good luck buying an Apple product.
Today, Apple is announcing that it will invest $600 billion, that's with a B, in the United States over the next 4 years. That's $100 billion more than they were originally going to invest. And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home. $600 billion. It's the biggest there is. The company is also unveiling its ambitious new American manufacturing program, which will bring factories and assembly lines across our country all roaring to life.
What do you think? Good, bad, indifferent?
It's not for the humans. They're going to say this is good for jobs, but it's for the robots and the automation. $600 billion is a lot of money. They act as though Apple handed the country a check of some sort. It just means that Apple's going to spend $600 billion building,
investing in technocracy, scientific dictatorship.
Doing things, here on this soil, destroying the land. They're going to have to develop and kill trees and contribute to climate change and do all of the bad things that, industrialization is not good. I mean, it's never good for the earth or for the people, the communities, or any of that shit. And this is not going to be good for jobs. It's all going to be bad all around. And as you pointed out, it's just going to further the technocracy. So, it's ridiculous to me. What a joke.
It creates, Ruckus, what they call in economics, negative externalities. And no one ever at any of these corporations ever has to fit the bill. It's just your population that suffers from the pollution.
The other thing is, since it's an investment, how do I invest? Can I invest in America? Do I get a return on my investment?
You can invest in Apple stock, I guess.
I was going to say, do I just buy Apple? Do I buy America? Is there US? Is USA on the stock exchange?
It should be. We have
Oh, I
a
guess it's
guest
Trump
on the
coin.
show.
Trump coin,
We have a
right?
guest on the show,
Oh,
Leia, the kitten. Okay, continuing. We should get a lot more clicks there. Okay, Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, gave President Trump a custom engraved glass piece designed by a former U.S. Marine working at Apple, mounted on a 24-karat gold base sourced from Utah. Let's watch this presentation. There's always some weird stuff going on here.
You might show them a little bit about the product that you're going to be doing in Kentucky, Tim.
Absolutely. You mind if I step up?
Yes, please.
This box was made in the U.S., California, and this glass comes off the Corning line. It's engraved for President Trump. It's a unique unit of one. It was designed by a U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a former one, that works at Apple now.
He's done well.
Designed it for you. And the base comes from Utah and is 24 karat gold. And it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
Wow.
Well, there we go. Congratulations,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
President.
It's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
Great people of Kentucky. You're going to find it great.
So there you go. It does have the occult symbolism of the iconic apple with the bite out of it, the forbidden fruit. There, isn't that a wonderful gift for Trump?
and the 24-karat gold base from Utah. What's this weird trend going on? Like all of these people have some sort of gift that usually involves gold, by the way, to give to the president, but they bring him all sorts of gifts every time that they're somebody there doing something. They're always bringing him something. What's up with that?
He says what does Snarky say? Every yeah, something's up. I can't put the comments up there. Anyway, he says sorry about that. There's a glitch going on here with Restream. He says everyone kissing the S out of Trump's ace this year. Hey, yeah, well, yeah. Turn away if you're tired of hearing about the Epstein story, but we're going to continue. So this is back and forth. It's denied by the White House, of course. Top Trump officials will discuss Epstein's strategy tonight at a dinner hosted by J.D. Vance, allegedly reported by CNN here. So maybe it brought up at the press conference today. They just write it off. Any report that they don't like, the Trump administration, they say, fake news. You know what I mean? They don't address the actual question. Is this real? What is up with this? They just say, fake news. It doesn't exist. So that's what CNN, and they do have a bad track record, but I don't know. So they're reporting it, not confirmed. Maybe they're having a meeting tonight. Here's some video of photos of Epstein with all these famous people. I'm sure none of them are compromised whatsoever. They're just trying to, I don't know, what was he financed? They're trying to get a loan, maybe. Here's some creepy video from inside of Epstein's home that was captured during the raid. A lot of, there he is with Trump, Bannon. Who else there? I think they got him with the Pope. Like this guy, he made it around, right? Somebody had a tiger, a white tiger. Is that Sigmund and Roy or whatever? So some images there, ornate designs and the like. Yeah, and so there's
Nice
the Pope.
place.
The Pope is blessing old Ghislaine and Jeffrey. Unearthed footage of Go ahead.
What's they're going to meet together for an Epstein strategy? Did CNN say what that means? Or, I mean, because clearly what that really means is how are they going to avoid talking about Epstein strategy?
Allegedly, they claim here, CNN claims, the meeting will include White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Vice President J.D. Vance, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel, and this other Deputy Blanche, Attorney General guy, all of these people here. All of these people, and they're trying to come up with some strategy to figure out how to downplay, obfuscate, misdirect public calls for transparency on Epstein files involving those rich and powerful and in the government who had dealings with them and were potentially
because it's distracting us from what truly matters, like, you know, ending the war in Ukraine, finishing the war in Gaza.
NFL football's coming up.
Well, that's coming up real soon, yeah.
No, but yeah, actually, yeah, distracting us from the distractions when, we're complicit here, not me and Ruckus, but the U.S. government is complicit here now in genocide there in Gaza. And so, yeah, that they don't want to talk about that. That's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a strategy meeting to try to come up with more psyops, I guess, to distract the American people, and they'll probably do a good job of it.
Aliens,
but it's fully denied. Maybe aliens. It's fully denied by Vance, and so he just writes it off, fake news, as they are having the meeting. No, that didn't happen, but I could see him literally at the meeting. They're like, all those people are at the meeting, and they're like, it's fake news, never happened. Oh, okay, MAGA. Come on, man. Okay, unearthed footage of Donald Trump saying sleeping with 17-year-olds is his form of alcoholism. This is kind of disturbing.
I have a question. My question is, how many jets do you have, and how would I apply to be flight attendants?
I think she's hired. Yeah, I hear you. Now, I have a case. It was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applied to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked the question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, "But Mr. Trump, she has no experience. So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so good." And I said, "Let me ask you, do you have any experience?" She goes, "No, sir." I said, "When can you start?" You can work at my plan anytime. Yeah. See, now, she worked at my plan. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends that are wonderful people. They're alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like, this would be my form of alcoholism. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Kind of creepy, right?
No comment.
Here's Trump saying, well, as we all know, the Epstein files are a distraction, total bullshit today. So I guess it literally never happened.
Is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw a report today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay?
On that subject.
What do you think, Marcus?
There you go. So
it's all hoax made up by Democrats.
I feel bad for us spending so much time on a fake story. That's crazy. See how they get you every time? You would think CNN would never, ever create fake news. I'm totally shocked that they caught us off guard like that, Sam.
It's just all bullshit. The 1,000 victims, whatever it is, they're all just made up. All the allegations that we know, all the connections that have been made, it's just all made up. And so Epstein killed himself, like they said. And and
we saw the video. It's case closed.
That's doctored, but who cares? And they just act all sketchy. And Bongino and Cash Patel, before they got worked with the government again, during the whole Biden administration, campaigned and ranted and raved about how horrific the whole situation was with Epstein and his child sex trafficking, compromat, blackmail operations. But I guess they were mistaken as well. Okay, with that, sorry, audience, we have to keep covering when it comes out the absurdity of all of this, of Trump. How the old saying goes, Doth thinks he protests too much. It seems like he does here now, because he's kind of looking a little bit guilty now here. Just saying. Okay. Live commercial break. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com and get yourself some stickers over there. Help support independent reporting and analysis. By the way, I'm going to be at the press conference there on Friday as we continue to cover for Children's Health Defense. It's going to be on their channel. They got a big channel. So maybe, hopefully, we'll get some more followers out of the deal. But again, in 2 days, I'll be broadcasting at 1 to 3:15. And it should be good. It's not just this one nurse who you've already heard from, the great hero Michelle Spencer here blowing the whistle. It's a list of speakers. Let me actually pull it up here quickly for you. And I think I had a list of the speakers that are going to be at this press conference. Did I have it? Maybe not. I should have prepared better. Anyway, there's a bunch. There's going to be Dr. What the heck's his name now? I can't remember off the top of my head. There's going to be a bunch of good speakers there. A couple doctors continuing to sound the alarm about all of this wicked activity going on at hospitals and public health. So be sure to tune in to Weaponized News on all of our channels on Friday at 1. But you can support us at any time. Go to Weaponized News, buy some stickers over there. We got the white background, the clear background, and then most people's favorite, the holograph here. Go to weaponizednews.com. We have a few books over there as well. Give us some support that way. We take donations, or you can donate some Bitcoin. The wallet address is in the description below this video. Cash App, many different ways to give us some of your money if you appreciate the work that we're doing here at Weaponized News. Okay, go ahead and plug there, Ruckus.
Yeah, sure. My stuff can be found alongside my friends and colleagues at alternatecurrentradio.com, including my most recent episode of Daily Ruckus, and then, of course, lots of other good stuff. But you'll find the Ruckus stuff there. Just go to the menu and all that fun stuff. Okay, alternatecurrentradio.com. You'll find links to my other things there as well. There you go.
See, our audience notes, Chloe says, but it's all fake. Trump says, yeah, he's never lied to us before. So, I trust him now, right? Yeah, okay. Here is, and we can definitely trust public health. Here's the nightmare that they rolled out last week, and they're still glad-handing and patting themselves on the back here. Here's TV Dr. Oz celebrating the fact that they're going to, what do they call it? I forget even the name, but it's the get rid of the clipboard and give us AI, take over our healthcare, compiling all our data. I don't know what could go wrong. Let's hear from Dr. Oz now touting this development again.
I'm Dr. Mehmet Oz, the administrator of CMS. I am at the White House. Make America's health tech great again. That's the name of today's gathering held at the White House, and I think it reflects a generational opportunity to change the way that we have accepted healthcare could exist. These are lifelines to help the American people. Medicare, Medicaid, all these wonderful programs that are 60 years old this week. When they were created, they actually sort of didn't change to keep up with technology. And now we have an opportunity to make that right. Look behind me. See those posters? They are all indicative of the 60 companies, big companies, in fact, the biggest health tech companies in America, and the small insurgents. They all came in and they said, we're all in, we're going to support you. We've got app developers in different areas, like trying to cure diabetes, or making sure you can kill the clipboard, which means when you go to a doctor's office, you don't fill the chart out again. You just show your QR code like you do in most businesses, and you're in, like getting on a plane. We can address the ability of patients to get information that they own about themselves, serve them on their phone or on a computer screen or even in their doctor's office in a way that makes it easier for them to understand what's happening in their health. All of this is part of this large ecosystem that's being put together. I'm confident this is going to work. The president is all in. Secretary Kennedy has embraced this as core to what MAHA can represent. And I, as the administrator of CMS, pledge to you, we will do whatever we can to ensure that all the partners that we signed up today will be satisfied in our commitment to them, but they got to deliver back to us. So we're going to trust but verify. Big day, very big day for America.
Exciting, right? They're rolling out technocracy right in everybody's face, and we're supposed to just love it.
Trust but verify. That's right. Verify who you are with a digital biometric ID. There you go.
AKA Miracle Passport, which they have been trying here now for a while. And so by a different name, your Miracle Passport there. Big news yesterday. It kind of flew under the radar. Apparently, Trump knows nothing about it, as we played at the beginning of this. Following a comprehensive review of, sorry, YouTube, it's right from the government. I'll even put it on the screen. Don't censor me for this, bro. It's right from the official government sites here. Following a comprehensive review of mRNA-related investments during the BAT public health emergency, Bobby Kennedy Jr. has announced the beginning of a coordinated wind down of BARDA's mRNA miracle development activities, including the cancellation and de-scoping of various contracts and solicitations. Let's hear now from Bobby Kennedy about this development.
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, your HHS secretary. At HHS, we have a division called the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA. BARDA drives some of our most advanced scientific research. It funds developments of vaccines, drugs, diagnostics, and other tools to fight emergent diseases and national health threats. Over the past few weeks, BARDA reviewed 22 mRNA vaccine development investments and began canceling them. Let me explain why. Most of these shots are for flu or COVID, but as the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. Here's the problem. mRNA only codes for a small part of the viral proteins, usually a single antigen. One mutation and the vaccine becomes ineffective. This dynamic drives a phenomenon called antigenic shift, meaning that the vaccine paradoxically encourages new mutations and can actually prolong pandemics as the virus constantly mutates to escape the protective effects of the vaccine. Millions of people, maybe even you or someone you know, caught the Omicron variant despite being vaccinated. That's because a single mutation can make mRNA vaccines ineffective. The same risk applies to flu. After reviewing the science and consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risk than benefits for these respiratory viruses. That's why, after extensive review, BARDA has begun the process of terminating these 22 contracts totaling just under $500 million. To replace the troubled mRNA programs, we're prioritizing the development of safer, broader vaccine strategies, like whole virus vaccines and novel platforms that don't collapse when viruses mutate. Let me be absolutely clear. HHS supports safe, effective vaccines for every American who wants them. That's why we're moving beyond the limitations of mRNA for respiratory viruses and investing in better solutions. Thank you.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What?
GTFO, as the kids would say. There's a lot of things wrong with what just happened here.
Did
During
he
the
tell
entire,
Trump? Trump doesn't know. Apparently, Trump's touting it as the greatest
I
thing
know.
ever, and he's just saying it doesn't work. And yeah,
No, Bobby Kennedy will change his mind, but then Trump will help usher in Warp Speed, the new novel platform to fight these viruses that can mutate without any warning at any, like, prove any of those things that he was discussing. I don't disagree with him about the mRNA being unsafe. That's clearly true, but I don't believe that all these other things that he's saying are necessarily true either. And he wants to offer an alternative solution, going back to the old ways and not, traditional vaccines, but then also he said novel treatments or novel pathways, whatever, something new, some sort of new technology to push on everybody, where that's going to be clearly.
and if you question that, you'll be banned and censored.
Anything that's novel and new, you need time to test. I mean, this
Long-term
is how we have
safety data is a
problems.
conspiracy theory, Ruckus. We can't be talking about that.
It makes no sense. It's hypocritical for him. It's like a snake swallowing its own tail. We've come full circle. It's weird.
This meme, and then we'll move on. Yeah,
Agree.
But any new novel technology is not allowed to be questioned on the interwebs, or you will be banned summarily here, apparently. And that's a big part about why we got banned, is it said, hey, this is new, no long-term safety data. It's very risky. Well, you're banned.
In that case, sign me up. We love it. Can they sponsor you, Sam?
Okay, that's our public health news. Don't strike me, bro, over there on the YouTube. Trump, we hate Trump. We hate Putin. Come on, we're on the same page here, guys. And you're free to take all of the experimental drugs that you want, man. Have at it. Don't push it on me, though, bro. You hear what I'm saying? And it's already been thoroughly disproven. There's your government telling you as such. Oh, sorry, we were right the entire time. Oh, well, we don't get back all that we lost now, do we? Anyway, and I'm bitching about it for me, but it's just the absurdity that we find ourselves in. Clown World Idiocracy, 2025, August. Here we are. Okay, I found this report, and it's about the oligarchs, and I thought we should go through it because I had not heard of these guys. I heard of their company, obviously, but not of the family. So let's go through it. Unknown oligarch family, or very underreported oligarch family here in America that we should all be aware of. Some big dogs up there that you don't hear too much about. There's a family with 14 billionaires in it, more than any other family on earth. And they control the entire global food supply. It's not the Waltons. It's not the Koch brothers. I don't know why and it's spelled like Coach, but they say Coke, so everybody knows the Koch brothers.
Is it Kraft?
It's not them. 99% of people have never heard their name. Well, that's why we're having to report on it to you here now at Weaponized News. Here's how they became the richest invisible dynasty. And who is this? Logan Weaver put together a thread there on the X. He says, meet the Cargill McMillan family. Combined net worth $65 billion. And let's go through this a little bit. And so we could see who our great oligarchs are that are controlling the global food supply. Combined net worth $65 billion with a B dollars. They own 88% of Cargill Incorporated, the largest private company in America, $177 billion in annual revenue. Let's start with this video.
name should be synonymous. When your family fortune exceeds the gross domestic product of more than 100 countries, your name should be synonymous with power. But the Cargill-Macmillan dynasty, worth an estimated $60.6 billion, prefers to operate in near total obscurity. In a world where billionaires launch themselves into space and broadcast their wealth on social media, the Cargill heirs remain ghost-like, controlling a vast global empire without the scrutiny that plagues their flashier counterparts. Cargill Incorporated, founded in 1865, is the largest privately held company in the United States by revenue, reporting $160 billion in revenue for the fiscal year 2024, a decline from $177 billion the previous year.
They seem honest. I trust them controlling our food supply. What do you think, Ruckus?
Yeah, let's, sure, so especially since we know so much about the company's founders and their family. They're very public. We understand their politics and their religious beliefs and all that fun stuff. And whether or not they're trustworthy enough to be in that much control of our food supply. So I feel completely comforted by all of this.
They go through the history here. I don't know if we really care about the history. Again, the link to all this will be at Weaponized News Substack. You can go through.
This is fascinating. I will be following the rest of this. This is neat.
Yeah?
I saw something similar to this about, and I think it was some of the modern day, the younger generations in this particular family, plus another one, again, another one that owns a large portion of the food industry, or it might have been the Johnson & Johnson, one of the chemical companies. They've got kids. They're just generations, 3-4 generations down. All they know is wealth and silver spoon in their mouth and living it up and hanging out in Saudi Arabia and all that fun stuff, or whatever, wherever it is that they go to. Dubai, there you go, whatever. It's crazy, man. They spend money like it's water. It's crazy.
It is water for them. The family kept expanding through the decades. I skipped the first part of the history. 1940s, animal feed and soybean processing. 1960s, became a commodities trader. In the 1980s, bought meat processing plants. In the 2000s, acquired global food companies. Here's another video, but I skipped some.
By the mid-20th century, Cargill Incorporated had transitioned from a regional grain storage business into a global agricultural powerhouse. As World War II ended, the demand for food and commodities soared, creating an unprecedented opportunity for expansion. Under the leadership of John Macmillan Jr., who had taken the helm in the 1930s, Cargill emerged as a dominant force in grain trading, leveraging a sophisticated logistics network and strong relationships with governments and major food producers. During the 1950s, John Macmillan Jr. focused on modernizing the company's operations. He oversaw the expansion of Cargill's grain storage facilities, increased investments in processing plants, and secured lucrative government contracts that allowed the company to supply food aid to post-war Europe. His son, Whitney Macmillan, entered the business during this time and played a crucial role in shaping Cargill's future direction. Whitney's financial acumen and strategic thinking led him to spearhead Cargill's move into commodity trading, a decision that would make the company an even more formidable player in global markets. As the 1960s progressed, Cargill faced growing competition from Archer Daniels Midland and Bunge, two rivals also expanding their influence in the agricultural sector. To maintain its edge, the company, now under the increasing influence of Whitney Macmillan and his cousin Cargill Macmillan Jr., aggressively pursued international markets. They recognized that true dominance required not just controlling grain storage and processing, but also integrating vertically into shipping, animal feed, and oilseed processing. By the late 1960s, Cargill had operations in Canada, Latin America, and Europe, making it one of the most internationalized agribusinesses of its time. The 1970s marked a defining period in Cargill's evolution. Whitney Macmillan formally became CEO in 1976, and under his leadership, Cargill diversified into new commodities, including petroleum, steel, and financial services. This era saw the company's most aggressive expansion yet, with Cargill acquiring grain elevators, oilseed processing plants, and port terminals worldwide. The company also formed partnerships with major transportation firms to control shipping and reduce dependency on third-party logistics providers. These moves were not without controversy, as critics accused Cargill of using its market influence to manipulate grain prices, leading to calls for regulatory oversight. Throughout the 1980s, the Macmillan family maintained its grip on Cargill's decision-making. Whitney Macmillan, alongside his cousin Austin Macmillan, steered the company through geopolitical tensions, including trade embargoes and economic recessions.
There you go. They're the good guys. No criticism of them should be allowed. Let's see here. What do they say? Somebody in the chat says
business people diversifying there.
Half the country's obese and sick. Let's see.
Which country?
The world. Let's see how much more. We got a couple more clips, but in the interest of time, let's play. They chopped it up. Obviously, that's from a documentary, and they chopped it up into these smaller clips. Let's play this one, and then I think we have to move on so we can get to the rest of the news. But they're the good guys. No criticism should ever be levied upon them.
They've been called the worst company in the world. They once had an intelligence operation bigger than the CIA, and they have near complete control over how and what you eat. Cargill Incorporated is the biggest privately owned company in America by a huge margin. They bring in more money than the third, fourth, and fifth largest companies combined. Pretty much any food you buy, they make a little bit of money off of. This is a result of over a century of consolidation, absorbing, buying up, and merging with other companies to try to control a chunk of every aspect of the food economy.
Cargill's Allburger brand salts,
Plant proteins,
Asphalt Rejuvenator,
Super Chicken đã được áp dụng trên một số khách hàng.
Partially hydrogenated products.
A very, very special treat.
Their power and breadth have kept wages down, squashed worker power, and pushed family farms to the brink of non-existence, while manipulating prices for the consumer. That's you. And that ubiquity is about to get even worse. Cargill has plans to absorb a chicken empire.
You like that segue, Ruckus?
It's lovely. Cargill, will you sponsor Weaponized News?
See, I'm promoting them here, saying they're not really that bad. And they're like, this is one of the worst companies ever. And I didn't even know that. I just randomly picked that. Anyway, there's more clips of this, breaking it down even further. But I think you get the picture. The link will be at Weaponized News Substack if, for those that want to do a deeper dive on it and watch the rest of these videos and be angry about Cargill controlling the food supply there. I'm sure they're good guys. Okay. So that's our one, not really mentioned very much, oligarch rulers that we should probably be paying more attention to because they are controlling the global food supply there in large part. Okay. China has had an economic miracle, some say. We take a look at the numbers. Again, this is right from Chinese government, so I would say take it with a grain of salt, but I would say they have, in the last 10 years here now, take a look at this infographic that the Chinese government put out. I think they have done a hell of a job with economic development and expanding their economy here. China's development in the new era, as we continue to report, they're calling it the new era. So you can see from 2012 to 2024, they've went from domestic ties with foreign countries, 172, 182. That's not that much, but you look at the GDP, and this is insane. 51 billion yen to 134 billion yen. That's insane. And the per capita GDP, disposable income, 16,000 to 41,000. And then this is the shocking one for me. Population and poverty in China in 2012 was 99 million people. And in they claim now the population and poverty in China as of 2024 is 0. So if that's true, that is quite an accomplishment I would say, lifting their population out of poverty through economic development. And you could see few other indicators here about renewable energies and the like. But the statistic there that stuck out to me is the poverty numbers that they're putting out. They're saying zero in poverty in China. What do you think, Ruckus?
Well, it's yuan, by the way. That's their
yuan.
currency.
There you go.
The yen is the Japanese. Anyways, easy mistake. The thing is, that's all propaganda, Sam. I'm sorry that you fell for Xi Jinping's Communist Party's propaganda. Clearly, they have a lot of people in poverty. How can it be zero? That's impossible.
Zero, they say.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be whatever it is, it's got to be worse than the United States of America because we are better than them. And I know ours doesn't happen to be zero unless last time I checked. I mean, are there 0 people living in poverty here in America? How many are? How many were there back in 2012 in China again? Only like 90 something?
99 million, they said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. That's quite a lot of people. To go from that to 0, I would say I would believe that before I would believe the viruses are mutating.
So you're saying don't trust Chinese government data as well as don't trust?
No, don't trust any government data. Chinese, American, British, Australian. I'm just kidding, YouTube. We hate Trump. Or wait.
We hate Trump, YouTube. Okay. As we fit, I don't know, what's the word I'm even looking for? We're trying to get peace, right? Allegedly, Trump administration is trying to get peace between Russia and Ukraine. EU, Denmark, Norway, Sweden commit $486 million to lead to NATO-led project to send Ukraine U.S.-made weapons. Putin's bad, YouTube, but come on, man, really? They're keeping it going there. They're keeping it going. So there's meetings. They're acting, at least. I don't know if they're trying to get a peace deal. Trump says my special envoy Steve Witkoff just had a highly productive meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Great progress was made, but we've heard this story before, and it's ongoing throughout the Trump administration. They have meetings. They say everything's good, and then they turn around and bomb the hell out of Ukraine. And then Ukraine turns around and does what? That Operation Spiderweb, that crazy attack on taking out half of Russia, or what was it, reportedly a third of Russia's strategic bombing force, for those that have a memory and can go back. And that was all in the midst of, yeah, we're going to have a peace deal. No. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay, let's hear from little Marco, what he had to say about Secretary of State about the latest developments here in the ongoing negotiations for peace.
Over to Moscow yesterday, Steve Witkoff, Ambassador Witkoff, and had a productive meeting in terms of what was discussed, the details that perhaps hadn't been shared before in terms of some ideas about how to bring this war to an end. Let's remind everybody that's the goal here. The president wants to end the war. So it was productive in that sense. We now have to continue to make progress. The president, after getting that update today, convened several leaders from Europe, updated them on what happened in the talks. We're going to be having talks with our European allies and the Ukrainians as well over the next couple of days, just to see what progress we can make on that side of it. And then hopefully, if things continue to progress, an opportunity will present itself very soon for the president to meet both with Vladimir Putin and with President Zelensky at some point here, hopefully in the near future. But obviously, a lot has to happen before that can occur. But I've always said this, that I think for the deal, if there's going to be a deal to end this war, it'll have to require the president to come in at the end and close on it, as I've seen him do numerous times now on trade deals as an example. So we got to get close enough to that point so that a meeting like that will be productive and worth doing. Today was a good day, but we got a lot of work ahead. There's still many impediments to overcome. And we hope to do that over the next few days. And
I don't know,
impediments to overcome, including his speech impediment.
We've heard this story before. we're getting out of Ukraine, getting it settled. Trump says. Trump sounds like he's itching for a deal. Let's hear this.
He's going there Monday, right?
Allegedly.
Keeping that 10 to 12-day deadline that you had given Russia after today's talks?
Yeah, we're pretty much getting close to it right now, but we're having very serious talks right now about getting out of Ukraine, getting it settled, getting it ended. Should have never started, would have never.
We heard it, Trump. It would have never happened, and you would end it in 24 hours. Sure, bud. Trump plans, yeah, like you were saying, Ruggles, Trump plans on meeting Putin next week following a tripartite meeting with Putin Zelensky to negotiate a ceasefire, according to the New York Times. Reporting there, Trump signs executive order hitting India with an additional 25% tariff to punish them for buying Russian oil. Oh, the hypocrisy. And India is calling it out. Here's the reply from India about these tariffs. India Foreign Minister's Office says the United States has in recent days targeted India's oil imports from Russia. We have already made clear our position on these issues, including the fact that our imports are based on market factors and done with the overall objective of ensuring the energy security of 1.4 billion people of India. It is therefore extremely unfortunate that the United States should choose to impose additional tariffs on India for actions that several other countries are also taking in their own national interest. We reiterate that these actions are unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. India will take all actions necessary to protect its national interests. India first, how dare them?
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
How dare India? But they did point out the hypocrisy of America. We hate Russia so much, well, we're still importing uranium, a bunch of stuff from them. So I guess we don't hate them that much. Yeah.
Did we stop the vodka, or we take the vodka now?
The funny thing about that, and I'll never forget because it shows the idiocy of America, when the unprovoked invasion by Russia into Ukraine happened, yeah, I want to say it was a bar somewhere in like Middle America, Ohio, something like this off the top of my head. But I remember they said, "Oh, we're boycotting Stoli vodka because it's from Russia," and they dumped it all out. And they're like, they made that in Illinois. Just one of the many examples of the idiocy that we see from Americans here. But we do support the spirit of their efforts, I guess you could say. Oh man, we need peace there. Stop killing each other. It's horrific, and it's a black hole for American money, for EU money, and a lot of people are dying still there. It's quite horrific. It needs to end here now, and so hopefully, some way, somehow, they can sort it all out with big meetings coming up here in the very near future. Okay, on to an even more horrific, I have to say, because it is more horrific, I think. Maybe not in body count, but in actual horror that we see. Aardvark genocide here now on Gaza. Let's hear now from UN's Francesca Albanese, where she's says that she's suffering U.S. sanctions. She's suffering for it, but nothing compared to what the Palestinians are suffering. And so again, her big report at the beginning of last month, July, laid bare military-industrial complex, war profiteers, just disgusting. All these corporations that are profiting off of the genocide, and for her efforts to expose this to the world through her great reporting, she got sanctioned. So let's hear now from her.
I've been under attack like the truth and like anyone who stands for the truth. But this is nothing compared to what the Palestinians are going through. The Palestinians are under attack. I mean, what happens to me is normal because we are challenging a system. And what does it mean to be sanctioned by a superpower? It means to be sanctioned. And it's horrible because it changes my life. It affects deeply my private life, that of my family, and it's unacceptable. This is against the UN Charter. This is against the UN Convention on Privileges and Immunities, and it must be, the sanctions must be removed. So I expect the United Nations to act with the United States diplomatically, politically, with the way they want, to make sure that this is redressed, because it's unacceptable.
Last question, I'll let you go. It's about the UN Watch's. What's your take on UN Watch's legal appeal to Elon Musk to enforce the new US sanctions against Francesca Albanese? The blue check has been removed. You know that. Your blue check.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
You don't care at all.
The blue check.
You know the
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, what is it that I need to write more succinctly?
She was pretty damn succinct in her report, exposing all the war profiteers, war criminals. I didn't know X apparently removed her blue check mark.
Is that like that? That's great. That's like, why would she care about that? I mean, that's perfect. Good answer.
Indeed. Okay, more of the horrific tragedy that is the genocide. Here's the AP. Maybe they need to be sanctioned. Trump did try to sanction them over Gulf of America. Please note, this story contains images of children and adults who suffered severe injuries when a wave of remotely triggered explosions hit pagers and walkie-talkies in Lebanon and Syria in September of 2024 as part of an aardvark operation against Hezbollah militant group. Remember that, the exploding pagers? Well, this kid's a damn terrorist, so he deserves it, right? I mean, it's quite horrific indeed. Survivors of Aardvark Land's pager attack on Hezbollah struggle to recover. Suddenly, everything went dark. Well, yeah, the pager blew up on them. Rare interviews. It's a good report. We don't have time to dig into it, but yeah, they blew a bunch of people up. Everybody that had one of the pagers, right? I mean, she didn't need that eye anyway. This guy, that's quite horrific. The pager blew up in his face. Hezbollah fighter struck. Well, he's Hezbollah. I mean, so there's a child disfigured by it. Boy with full facial scars. Yeah, it's pretty damn horrific there. It was a nightmare. Yeah. It is a freaking nightmare. That woman appeared blinded. Yeah, it's just beyond.
They're all bad people.
They're all terrorists, so I mean, yeah. Aardvarks say Hamas is starving hostages. Security Council members say Aardvark land is starving Palestinians. AP headline here. So who is it? I don't know. I don't know. Who controls the whole area there? Well, it's obviously Hamas, not Aardvark land. But with that, here's this guy, this retired Green Beret from America, reported on his interview with The Hill. Now he's gone on the Tucker Carlson show, and he says IDF said no water. I don't know. Maybe he's a damn terrorist sympathizer. A retired Green Beret from U.S. military. I don't know. He's a damn terrorist too now. Let's watch a couple of these clips from his interview with Tucker.
I mean, is anyone else bringing water into Gaza?
No.
No water?
No. That's why if you saw on the news today, just today, and this is not just in Western media, this is in Israeli news, N12, Channel 13. I watch all the Israeli news, breaking news on my phone. I'm just into it now. And the new, or the now realized danger is that they're critically low and running out of water, which should not surprise anybody. How would they be getting it? We're not. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation isn't providing any.
Did you bring this up?
We brought this up on the very first day, and not just myself, other contractors, other people that have a conscience that were like, okay, I see this child or this woman breaking into a box of food, and it's all dried goods, no prepared goods, all dried goods that require water to make, that require effort to make. There's no water. And we asked that. And we were told, well, the IDF said no to water. Well, who's in charge here? I mean, I thought we were doing the humanitarian aid. Well, we are, but we're not going to push back on it because water would be 3 times more expensive per truckload than we can bring in, equal to that of 3 trucks of food. And more food is better than limiting that for water. And I'm like, I think someone that was actually educated in humanitarian assistance and providing humanitarian aid, and someone that was a nutritionist that was well-versed in feeding people would probably disagree with that. I would disagree with that. Water? In the United States Army, if you're in the field and conducting combat operations, I mean, not having water is a sin. You don't go without water. So us providing no water for food that has to be cooked with water is almost like a slap in the face. It's dehumanizing.
Well, he's just a damn antiseptic Hamas, former U.S. Green Beret there, operating as a part of that Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, trying to do the right thing, showed up there and said, "Oh no, I don't want no part of this. You guys are committing war crimes, for God's sake." But hey,
it's not the IDF's fault. We understand that they have poorly trained soldiers because they have to quickly replace them because they're constantly killed all the time by terrorists all the time. I mean, they're just dropping like flies. So they got to get in new ones, and the new ones aren't well trained. They're not used to being human beings, apparently, who rely on like water and food. So they made a sensible decision here. They thought, well, water, food. We need to get them food. We don't know who needs water. Obviously, it's what this looks like. It looks like what has been discussed here, that it looks like an intentional slap in the face, because that's probably exactly what it was. Nice people, these IDF folks.
Here's more from that interview. Botched relief efforts in Gaza are inhumane and must be deliberate. It was just a mistake. I don't know what. Deliberate? What? I don't know. Let's hear more.
Passed out food. Your job was to provide security at sites where they were passing out food, but you have said that they didn't pass out water because it was too expensive. How does that work exactly? Is there a lot of water in Gaza? And the food you're passing out requires water to cook it, right? It was like dried beans and corn and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like your kid turned 16 and they walk outside and you got the big bow on the Pontiac and it's like, happy birthday. And you give them the keys and it's got no gas in it. Real jerk move, right? So to give people food that requires water to cook it and then give them no water. And in order to get to the food, they have to walk 8 kilometers and then walk 8 kilometers back to their house to cook it. And you give them no water. It's so inhumane and evil that it can only be deliberate.
Is there a lot of water in Gaza?
There's none. I mean, other than cisterns from rainwater, remnants of old wells that may be still operating at a very low level. But in terms of municipal type water, fresh water, tap water, absolutely not.
So is anyone else bringing water?
No water well, at least they're not getting fluoride in their water, right? And so they can say, well, you see, we fed them, even though there's no water. Jesus.
Somebody needs to have a chat with these people because they are God's chosen people. Maybe some of them are new to this whole thing, and they might not realize that this doesn't make them look real good, nor does it make God look good for people who might be curious about the big man upstairs. Might be like, hey, is that guy a nice guy? What is he into? Oh, my goodness. I'm going to head over here now. Thank you. But no, thank you. Weird. Yeah, they got an issue, obviously, here.
A lot of IDF are saying, yes, we were ordered to shoot children. Well,
that's not a good look, people. What are you doing?
They're born terrorists, though.
Were their officers aware of the fact that they were shooting kids?
I believe that they were all aware, and I think that at the lower level, and it's starting to come out now. Every day there are more and more IDF soldiers that are returning home. Again, as I said, when these contractors come home and the adrenaline's gone, and you're not in the situation anymore, and you have to look yourself in the mirror, and those things come back to you that we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have allowed that. Same thing that's happening with these IDF soldiers. They're reservists. They're in there for 90 days. They come home, almost like clockwork. As they come out of the field and they decompress, they have to look at themselves in the mirror. When you're in there and you're in war, and the fog and friction of war alter your compass, alter your azimuth, your moral compass. And when you step back into society where there's expectations of civilization and that moral compass straightens up again, there's a lot to answer for. It's happening. A lot of the IDF that are there that are serving are coming out and saying, like, yes, we were ordered to shoot the children. We were ordered to shoot
by their officers.
By their officers, by their units.
Continuing here. Oh yeah, their aardvarks are bombing. They're bombing Syria. They're bombing Lebanon continually, and they're in the West Bank. Aardvark occupation forces invade a refugee camp in the West Bank, raiding homes, arresting residents there. Injuries from gunfire have been reported. Aardvark land is, they're targeting southern Lebanon. Several more bombings. That's like an ongoing thing. Aardvarks are they bombed Syria as well. So that whole area there on our map here, if we could go to our map right here, this whole area right here, they're bombing the hell out of this whole area right there for the Greater Aardvark Land Project, as we continue to report here to you at Weaponized News. That's always been the mission, and it will continue to be the mission. Apparently, they don't care. Dozens killed seeking aid in Gaza as aardvarks consider further military action. And so report after report after report after report, they go to the food aid, you get shot. At least 38 Palestinians were killed overnight as of 24 hours ago on the Gaza Strip as they made attempts to get food aid. AP reports here. So they're shooting the children, shooting the starving, not giving them water. I mean, do they sit around and say, what war crime can we commit? We didn't commit this one yet? Because they're literally going down the list, checking off the boxes of what war crime can we commit today? And they're basically doing them all here. Should we call for sanctions? I am, against this Massachusetts city that's divesting from aardvark land. Lawmakers in Massachusetts City have voted to pass historic ordinance divesting from companies that contribute to human rights violations, including aardvark land, ongoing destruction of Gaza. Medford, Massachusetts City Council passed the Values Aligned Local Investment Ordinance. And so, of course, they should all be sanctioned by the U.S. federal government and maybe even droned by Palantir for these actions. Russia, they're so crazy over there, right? They're so crazy. Back on July 30th, so not that long ago, like a week ago, right? On July 30th, a vehicle of the Russian Federation's mission to the Palestinian National Authority bearing diplomatic license plates and carrying personnel of the Russian diplomatic mission accredited by Aardvark Land Foreign Ministry was attacked near the illegal Aardvark Land settlement there in the West Bank near Jerusalem by a group of settlers. They're even attacking Russian diplomatic envoys. They're freaking crazy people. And then to wrap it up here, well, a couple more reports. Yeah, they're going. It could be happening at any time. It's happening within the next 24 hours, I do believe, according to all reports. Aardvarkland orders Army to execute government decisions on Gaza. Here's the painful details. According to Aardvarkland's Channel 12, the military will begin with the complete occupation of Gaza City, and the Army will ask its 900,000 some odd estimated residents to leave. The operation will be preceded by weeks of logistical preparations to accommodate the population that will be evacuated. The Aardvark Land Security Cabinet will discuss the possibility of annexing the buffer zone in Aardvarkland. 1 billion shekels will be allocated to establish new aid distribution centers, and Washington will provide humanitarian cover. This is the expected plan. A short period will be given for voluntary evacuation. From past experience, it is known that Hamas has also moved prisoners from areas about to become combat zones. At the same time, Trump is expected to deliver a speech announcing significant funding for a major increase in, quote, humanitarian aid. We just saw from those reports from that Green Beret on Tucker what humanitarian aid means over there, with the goal of preventing Hamas from controlling it. Steps instruct residents to evacuate Gaza City before the deadline, prepare civilian infrastructure in the center of the Strip, hospitals, camps, etc. Occupy Gaza City. The United States will fund the expansion of aid distribution centers from 4 to 16. That's the most recent reporting. And when Trump was asked about the full occupation of Gaza, this is a report out of Axios, Trump says that it's up to Aardvarkland, and he has nothing to say about it, even though we fund and arm them as much as they want to the teeth and never call them out for all of the human rights violations, ethnic cleansing, and genocide going on there, Ruckus.
Hey, well, you know, look what we did 80 years ago.
Jeez.
To Japan.
That about says it. Here we are, America, honoring the bombing of Japan on this day 80 years ago. Quite horrific indeed. And that's all the reporting we have here for you at Weaponized News. Final thoughts, Ruckus, before we go to the channels and see what our chat's brought us?
I don't have any particular story in front of me, but maybe you heard about this. Maybe you reported on it yesterday and I missed it. But I heard it somewhere else on a YouTube video, and I wanted to circle back to it. But I'll just ask you, I guess the DHS secretly or silently changed some sort of policy involving some sort of funding for states, but they had to make some sort of pledge to not boycott Israeli goods. I guess people discovered that this language was hidden in there, and they made a big stink about it online. And then the DHS went and quietly edited the page and never explained why they had it in there in the first place or admitted to it. But now it's just poof, disappeared, so that it looks like it was a fake news story, when in fact it was true that language was indeed in these documents.
No, yeah, I did report on it. The initial report showing the document and then the redaction later on. And like you say, they do the head fake. Oh no, it's fake news. It never happened. No, if you guys could have slipped that through and nobody noticed, you would implement that policy. Make no mistake about it. But they got called out.
What's interesting is that the news, in one of the earlier reports today, it turns out that they made up a story. They made some sort of fake story about the people getting together for the Epstein strategy, right? Mm-hmm. And then in this other story, the news correctly reported about the fact that there was some sort of bizarre language in there, and then the government covered it up and lied about it to make it. I mean, so these tricks go both way. I mean, there's like no separation between the two. It's just a fascinating observation. That's all. Don't come at me, YouTube. You know.
from the chat, sorry guys, there's a glitch. I could not. We had some great comments in the chat there, but I can't put them on the screen. There's some glitch going on here, or I would be putting them on the screen. I'm seeing your comments quickly. Story linked to there on Rumble by Denver. Great researcher there on the interwebs, always posting informative links. He's now telling us about this Hollywood-backed bill would give government power to block websites. This sounds quite horrific. And he was saying, he posted something too as I was trying to do the show and follow the chat, something about, what is it? Payment processors, surveillance choke points, and kill switches. When payment monopolists become the bouncers, the guest list stops being your choice. Oh, yeah, and Germany, was he saying Germany's rolling out? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I wanted the German one. This is Germany turns its back on decades-old privacy protections with sweeping surveillance bill, and that's at reclaimthenet.org. Who could say they did not see this coming? But this one about America, lawmakers in Washington, this is reclaimthenet.org via link from Denver again. Lawmakers in Washington are once again attempting to give the United States a legal pathway to block websites, a power the federal government has never officially held on a broad scale. But Trump told us that they're ending the weaponization of government against the American people, so this could never happen, right? Right. So more of that, reclaimthenet.org, and you could see all the newest high-tech tyranny they're rolling out. But hey, trust but verify.
That's a good website, by the way, folks. Yeah.
I'll throw it up there. Always on following your civil liberties there and trying to protect them and report on the technocracy nightmare we find ourselves in here today. Thank you for all the links there, Denver, as usual. High quality, very concerning content that every American who likes their freedom should be aware of here now. Okay, let me go to Odysee. We got Gur, Highland, John over there in the Odysee chat. Shout out to you guys. Say her lips are grotesque. Talking about Ice Barbie. Something's going on. She have a big old, like, did she get punched in the lip? No, I think it's probably Botox or something. Maybe it's just makeup. I don't know. But yeah, she looks very Barbie-esque, let's just say. I guess making deportation sexy again. They're on Fox News for us. It's hard. It's hard to take these people seriously, honestly. It's a disgrace what they put forth to us here now as our quote representatives in the government. Plastic Ice Barbie, indeed, Gur. Indeed. Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for tuning in on the Odysee, the Bitchute. Thank you for tuning in. I tried to figure out how to live stream on the old Substack. I don't have the option. I don't know. I looked it up, went through the steps. I don't have the option to live stream. I don't know why, but I need to further investigate. That's why we didn't live stream the show on the Substack, because I don't have the option. I follow all the steps and I get there and there's like no live stream link. So I don't know. No ability to access the streaming keys on the Substack. But anyway, shout out to Substack. It'll be uploaded like usual later in the day. Again, reminder, show notes will have all the links to everything we talked about here. Shout out to Substack. And then who else do we got? We got the X. Shout out to X, the YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and then, of course, the great crowd over there at Rumble. Thank you, everybody, for keeping the chat lively as usual. As always, everybody, do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.